Hello, and welcome to episode 13 of the Very Metal Diary of Cleo Howard. Tuesday, 1st of July. We used the Van de Graaff generator in physics today. I was chosen to stand on the washing up bowl and have my hair stuck up. Mr. Venables said he needed somebody with long hair that didn't have loads of hairspray in it. I felt like a ripe plum stood in front of the whole class. Everyone was staring at me. When I got home from school, Mum had bought some cans of blackcurrant 1-cal. I asked her again about Reading Festival. She's finally caved in and she's agreed that I can go on the condition that I behave myself between now and then. It's a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. I rang Dad and asked him to buy me a ticket. Wednesday, 2nd of July. I'm so happy today. I get to go to my first proper gig in less than 2 months. I can't wait for Reading Festival. Maybe next year I'll get to go to a gig in London. I bought Kerrang without hesitation in W.H. Smith's because it's got Alice Cooper in it. Jenny will not like this issue though. Alice Cooper is claiming that Marilyn Manson stole his act. I guess when we see Marilyn Manson at Reading Festival, we can judge for ourselves. Me and In listened to Gav's The Specials album. I liked Too Much Too Young. I think I'm going to heed its warning and not get married too young. Or maybe not get married at all. Based on Mum and Dad, it looks rubbish. Thursday, 3rd of July. My bum hurts today. Me and Ian went on the seesaw yesterday, and because he's bigger than I am, I landed from higher up than he did. Also, me and Jenny got kicked out of Ann Summers today. You've got to be 18 to look at the really rude stuff at the back. Today has not been a huge success. I took my injured bottom and my injured pride to bed early, and I listened to Suicidal Tendencies, You Can't Bring Me Down. Friday, 4th of July. Bum still hurts. Ian offered to rub it better. I declined with thanks. Karina dared Janine to stick a sanitary towel onto Mrs. Savage's back in textiles today. Janine managed it, and there was loads of giggling. Karina is so childish. Mrs. Savage is easily embarrassed, and as a fellow massive blusher, I didn't want her to have to answer the questions. What's that on your back, miss? What's it for? Charmaine Payne called Mrs. Savage into the big cupboard where all the materials are kept, and she removed it stealthily. There are a few girls in my year whose mums can't afford sanitary towels and tampons, and they always have to go to the school nurse. I'm glad when Dad left, we didn't get that poor. I listened to Rage Against the Machine this evening. It's got a parental advisory sticker on it. Saturday, 5th of July. In The Green Man tonight, T-Reg asked Lizzie if she swallows. She didn't answer and she slapped him. Lizzie has got a very direct approach when it comes to dealing with unwanted attention. I wonder what spunk actually tastes like. It's bound to be grim, isn't it? Jenny said that she isn't going to swallow ever, but that she wouldn't mind someone jizzing on her tits if absolutely necessary. Lizzie told me that sometimes when she hangs around with Ella, she gets into situations she'd rather not be in with boys. Basically, Ella is boy mad, and she sometimes arranges double dates. And then Lizzie goes with her, but because Ella's quite friendly, they expect Lizzie to be just as friendly. Sometimes Lizzie invents a boyfriend called Paul, and that gets her out of some potentially sticky situations. Ian and I went to the park on the way home. He asked me if I wanted to go on the seesaw. I declined with thanks. Sunday, 6th of July. I'm pleased to report that my bum no longer hurts from going on the seesaw with Ian earlier in the week. Also, Dad gave me my Reading Festival ticket today. I'm going to see Metallica and Marilyn Manson. Me and Dad went to see Nanny Howard, and I told her that I'm going to Reading Festival on the Sunday. She said she'll look out for me on the telly. Reading Festival is always on the local news, and there are always local people complaining about the inconvenience. On Coronation Street tonight, there was a new family called the Battersbys. For tea, Nan made us lemon curd sandwiches, and then we had raspberry ripple ice cream with ice magic. Monday, 7th of July. Karina Norman said today that people with wide taste in music are smarter than people with narrow taste in music. She thinks she's got broad taste in music because she likes all chart music. Using that same argument, I've got wide taste in music. I like thrash metal, heavy metal, a bit of death metal, and some classic rock. Tuesday, 8th of July. And I like the Prodigy and Pot Will Eat Itself, dear diary, so Karina Norman can eat my shorts. Ian got in a huff this morning because I called cryptic writings craptic writings. I just don't like it. My favourite Megadeth album is definitely So Far So Good So What. Craptic writings is neither punky nor thrashy enough. Ian is such a lover of Dave Mustaine that he can't see the evidence of his own ears. Wednesday, 9th of July. I meant that Ian can't hear the evidence of his own ears, dear diary. Ian is no longer in a huff because today I bought him a packet of snaps and I told him I thought cryptic writings was probably a grower. But I'm sure it isn't. But his childish sulks are getting really annoying. Why is everyone arguing about music at the moment? Thursday, 10th of July. Jenny and I have decided to change the way we do our Gods list. We thought we'll do an international version and then a Reading version, although we struggled to get to 10 on the Reading version and could only get 2 each. We do know way more than 10 boys, but most of them we go to school with, and when we compare them to their international counterparts, I'm afraid they're a bit less appealing. This is my international Gods list. Glenn Danzig, Jeff Hanneman, Pete Steele, Christopher Lee, Zodiac Mindwarp, Dave Lister, David St. Hubbins, Joey DeMeo, Tank Girl, and Rob Zombie. Sadly, Dave Mustaine has fallen into about 11th place due to cryptic writings. My Reading-based Gods list is Barry, followed by T-Reg. Jenny's international Gods list is Pete Steele, Marilyn Manson, Andrew Aldrich, Trent Reznor, Johnny Depp, Robert Smith, Twiggy Ramirez, Nick Cave, Morticia Adams, specifically the 1960s TV version, and Kiefer Sutherland. Jenny's Reading Gods list is Lex and Darren. This evening Mrs. Butler brought some magazines round for Mum. I read the problem pages. If I had a boyfriend, I don't think I'd mind if he wanted to try my knickers on. Also, how do you use sex as a weapon, and why shouldn't you do this? Friday, 11th of July. Karina Norman called me Duracell today. For the love of Lemmy, I know I'm ginger. It's really old news. And then Mark Dobbs asked me if I'd go all night, and I just ignored him. Ian tried to cheer me up by calling me his little pink bunny. Saturday, 12th of July. Ella pointed out to me tonight that T-Reg dresses on the left. She said that men who dress on the left tend to be good in bed. If anyone would know, she would. Ella has dyed her hair even blonder than usual. She said her inspiration is Pamela Anderson. Sunday, 13th of July. Tony Blair is all over the papers. He invited a load of pop stars to a cocktail party at 10 Downing Street. Noel Gallagher went, and Vivienne Westwood, who made clothes for the Sex Pistols, and also Anita Roddick. I wonder if she took a Body Shop gift basket for Cherie. Tony is so desperate to not be seen as a boring old stuffy politician. He reminds me of Mr. Freeman at our school. He's always trying to prove how young and trendy he is. He doesn't even know that you don't say trendy anymore, for instance. Mum said, at least you knew where you were with John Major. She's never liked him because she always votes Labour, but she's not that keen on Tony Blair. She did think John Major was sensible to start the lottery. She said it's the only way that the likes of us will end up having the same money as the likes of him. She said that Blair looks like a bit of a loose cannon to her. Monday, 14th of July. I was given a very thorny dilemma by Ian today. Would I rather die a virgin or have sex with John Bon Jovi? My clarifying questions were, am I allowed to put a bag on his head, and would anybody find out? Also, can I get a mark out of 10 from 3 different sources for how good John Bon Jovi's in bed before I commit myself? And, is it long hair 80s John Bon Jovi or short hair 90s John Bon Jovi? I still haven't decided, and I've been thinking about it for at least 2 hours. Tuesday, 15th of July. I've decided. I would rather go to my grave pure and untouched than sleep with John Bon Jovi. Wednesday, 16th of July. Ian and I listened to his brother Gav's Jethro Tull Catfish Rising album today. It was weird. Ian's dad Terry had a day off work today. He made us gammon, egg and crinkle cut chips for tea. It was really good. He's very, very good at cooking, but I suppose you have to learn to be if your wife leaves you. He's a much better cook than my dad. My stupid period started when I was round Ian's, and I didn't have anything in my bag, so I had to put toilet paper in my knickers. And then I went home, claiming that Mum had told me I had to be in by 7:30. I'm convinced that my period has been brought on by the stress of thinking about boffing John Bon Jovi. It's like my body is trying to protect me from the horror. Kerrang had a 100 Best Gigs feature this week. My mum has so far only let me go to one, and I haven't even been to that yet. At the risk of sounding like Kevin the teenager from Harry Enfield and Friends Dear Diary, it's so unfair.